Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to go over what is wrong with Hobie Kayak. Are they still the #1 undisputed leader in the fishing kayak industry? What about their quality control? What about the warranty issues? All that and a lot more. So let's get right into it, everybody. So the history of Hobie. So just to kind of give a brief overview, started in 1950 by Hobart or Hobie Alter. Started making balsa wood surfboards, shaping them out of his father's garage in California. Moved into the sailing industry with the Hobie catamaran style sailboat. Lightweight, easy to use, and just kind of built things from there. Now in the 90s, late 90s and 97 is when they come up with the Mirage drive. So the drive as you know it today. First Mirage drive was done in 97. Then they brought on the Hobie Outback in 2001, and then the Pro Angler in 2009. And they've really kind of built on those two models. Now you've got the Compass, you got the Passport, the Lynx, a lot of things out there for your fishing. Again, rich history, but really Hobie has been run by investment groups for probably the past 25 years. So this is nothing new, but it's simply a new investment group, and a lot of attention's been drawn to that because of all of the other issues that have been kind of blown out of proportion, in my opinion. So that brings me to my next topic, is the concerns. What are the concerns with Hobie? And there's a lot of them. And the reason why I feel like it's been blown out of proportion a little bit, and don't get me wrong, Hobie has definitely kind of earned some of that reputation, so I'm not fluffing that at all. But during COVID, it really hit the paddle sports industry really hard, not only for a inventory and a materials issue, also manpower as well as demand. So all of these factors kind of multiplied it. With Hobie, what you get is you get a kind of a higher price point of those kayaks, and having the same issues that a lot of really all other manufacturers had during this time frame. And I feel like it amplified, it blew it out of proportion. And that's kind of what I mean by that. So when you're talking about a $500, $600, $700 kayak, having some issues with inventory, you're going to understand that a little bit more than a kayak that's $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000. It's a little bit of an issue. It's going to be a bigger frustration when you're needing parts and you can't get those parts, but you've spent this money on that level of kayak. So I feel like that's where a lot of it come from. And another thing is the warranty. So the issues with the warranty, in my opinion, are due to a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them are due to your poor paddle shop customer service. So managing a paddle shop personally, I've never had any real issue with Hobie honoring their warranty. Now they may ask some questions. How are they storing it? How is it being used? But ultimately, I've never had any issues with the customer getting the parts they need or a replacement hull shipped to them. You know, it happens with any manufacturer, problems happen. Are they going to take care of you? And I still feel like Hobie is still taking care of you with the warranty. It does look a little different, but that's really where your paddle shop comes into play. And that's what we're handling, not the customer. Because again, you're not going to go directly to Ford or Chevy for your warranty. You're going to go to the dealership where you bought it from. And you should expect that level of customer service at that price point, in my opinion. During COVID and during the heightened demand, you get in a lot of paddle shops opening up. And I feel like a lot of them maybe not experienced, or may just being real with it, may not have been financially able to handle a lot of those issues, and then may not have had the inventory to do so. So a lot of that kind of snowballed all together and created a bigger issue than what was really there, I feel. Again, this is just my opinion, guys. The final concern, and this is kind of a real one in my opinion, is are they going to start producing kayaks out of Mexico? A lot's been made to their facility moving to Mexico. As of right now, they're not producing kayaks there, but I'm not going to say that's never going to happen. We don't know. So that's something we're keeping an eye on. That's something I feel like the industry is going to keep an eye on. And obviously, you know, moving out of country can create some quality issues. So it's a concern. It's not something, I'm not going to tell you that, the sun's shining brightly on Hobie. They're not without their challenges. There's some challenges there. So something to keep an eye on. But as of right now, they're still the #1 pedal drive fishing kayak on the market. Now, is that gap as wide as it used to be? In my opinion, no. But they're still on top. They're still driving the market. But with a lot of companies innovating and coming up with new ways to get people out on the water, Hobie is going to need some of that innovation. Their patent ran out a few years ago on the original pedal drive, the fin drive, and you're starting to see copycats, for lack of a better term. You're starting to see some of those cheaper options, cheaper quality options. And, if you're happy with those, that's great. But if you can get them at that cheaper price point, even at a lesser quality, why are people going to still give that Hobie price? Now, if you've been in a Hobie and if you own a Hobie, you know what I'm talking about. But if for customers the new customers I'm talking about, to want to get into that Hobie space, there really needs to be something new and innovative to attract those newer buyers. Because those of us that have Hobies, those of us that have pedaled Hobies, and those of us that fish out of Hobies, we already kind of know the value of it. So let's get to the value. So is Hobie still a good value? Is it worth the money? And now, in my opinion, I think it is, and I'm going to tell you why. So when people are talking about Hobie, specifically people who aren't in the Hobie space or not experienced around Hobies, they're only focusing on one thing, and that's the Pro Angler. So the Pro Angler at $5,000 and up, depending on which version you're getting of it, that's expensive. And a lot of people just see the price, but as a Pro Angler owner, I know that I use every single inch of that kayak and every single feature, whether it's depth finders, whether it's motor or pedal, whether it's the skeg, whether it's the rudder, the seat, all the storage, electronics, the whole nine. I'm using all of that. So for me, it's a great value. Now, I'm not saying it's cheap, but for what you get and for what's out there, I feel like Hobie still offers something that not every kayak company is going to offer. But if you're looking for, creeks and rivers, deep rivers with a pedal drive kayak, keep in mind, Hobie makes the Passport. So the Hobie Passport, the 10.5 version, starts at $17.99. That's a great value. So Hobie overall does offer a great value. It's still the #1 pedal drive on the market. It's unmatched for quality with the pedal drive unit. Efficiency, you're going to use less energy to go forward. It's going to move a lot more water than your typical bicycle style prop drives. But it's not for everybody. And that's any kayak company, whether it's Jackson, Perception, Native, Bonafide, Old Town, any of those. You got to realize that what you're picking out needs to be catered for what you're needing to use it for, not what somebody else is using it for. Because there's all kinds of great videos out there. There's all kinds of great commercials on why these are the best kayaks. But until you find out exactly where you want to go with your kayak fishing setup, that's really going to narrow things down quite a bit, because I know there's a lot of options out there. So personal opinion on Hobie. There's a lot to be concerned with as far as the future, but as far as their financial situation, as far as their lineup, time will tell. But the great thing about the kayak industry is it's extremely competitive. So that competition is going to really ultimately benefit us, the end user, the consumer. So competition is raising underneath Hobie, and it's narrowed that gap a little bit. So you're really going to need to see some innovation with Hobie moving forward to, again, keep things moving forward. Otherwise, the competition has not caught them yet, but it will if they stay stagnant. And they know this. They currently have engineers, research and development. They're currently producing and testing stuff out that'll be new for the market. Nothing that I know personally, but honestly, they have to. If they're going to want to keep selling kayaks in the future, they're going to need to innovate a little bit, because everybody else is right now. Okay, so just given my thoughts. Now, again, these are my personal opinions on the direction of Hobie, where they're going, what's ultimately in store for Hobie. And to say I'm not concerned is, I wouldn't be completely truthful there. The things that I'm going to be looking for is, are they going to start manufacturing in Mexico? Are we going to start seeing MX serial numbers on the kayaks? So that's going to be something to watch out for. But really, you know, I have faith in Hobie that they're going to be innovative. They've been innovative their entire existence. So to think that they're going to stop innovating the kayak fishing industry all of a sudden, it's, you know, I hope not. But with you got Hobie here, and in the past, this has been everybody else. Now we're about right here, in my opinion. So Hobie is going to need to start innovating now that the patents have run out on the Mirage Drive, and you're starting to see some of those copycats. You're going to need to start innovating. You know, maybe doing the 360 drive on the Outback, maybe doing some upgrades on the drives. You know, some things that are going to benefit the end user, and that stuff may very well be coming, but I know that they're in research and development. They have engineers working on this stuff. Hobie is not going to stand still and just falter. We shouldn't want them to either. So if Hobie falters, if Hobie were to go under and just stop making kayaks, what does that do to the competition? Well, obviously you're going to have a new king, but in my opinion, everyone's chasing that, so they're coming up with these new innovative ideas. Some of them work, some of them don't, but it helps us out. That competition is healthy, and the manufacturers will tell you the same thing. So do I think that they're in trouble? No, I don't, but if they're probably a bad year or two away from being in trouble. So they're really going to need to kind of step out and start driving the market again. That's what I want to see. What do you think? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you're experienced with Hobie, if you're a Hobie hater, let me know why. Do you just think they're overpriced for what they are? What do you think? Let me know down below. And then also, if you have experience with Hobies, what made you go to Hobie? What experience do you have with Hobies? And how long have you been in them? Anyways, I hope to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching the video, and we'll see you on the next one.